Welcome to the University of Life and this podcast, this introduction to our brand new course. This has been in the making for a long time. I'm excited to finally get it started, and it is timely. It's called How to Use Your Brain. And I think you understand already why we're making this podcast, because if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to the podcast on whatever platform, then you're probably familiar with social media. And if you are familiar with social media, then you're probably familiar with the quality of thinking that often happens there. And if you're familiar with the quality of thinking that often happens on social media, then let's just say you're probably well aware that it could often use some improvement. And the only way to improve that really is to learn how to use your brain. Now, luckily, the problem is not that people are stupid. Or as I often say, sometimes say, people are smart, but sometimes not very much. So what does that mean to be both smart and foolish? And to answer that, there are two different ways to measure intelligence. The first way is to take a look at what all those neurons up inside your skull can accomplish. And when you look at it that way, it's amazing. It's astonishing what the human brain is capable of accomplishing. It's inspiring. But notice the qualifier in that sentence when I said that it's astonishing what your brain is capable of accomplishing. And being capable of accomplishing something and actually doing it is not always the same thing. You may have a Lamborghini parked up inside your skull and your cranium, but if you never take it out of first gear, then what is the fun of that? Or maybe you take it all the way up through the gears, but if you don't know how to corner and drive, you're bound to bash it up, and that becomes expensive. The fact that you're watching this video tells me that you're probably at a pretty good level where at least you're open to learning something new and improving at it. Now, before we introduce this whole course and give you one by one the specific skills, because there are specific skills that you need to master to become really a good thinker. Before we do all of that, I want to introduce you to the 5 different levels of thinkers. And as I do this, you can set your goal for which level you want to achieve. So if we look at the very top level, we'll call this the master thinker, the brain master. This is the person who not only knows all of these specific skills, but has practiced them enough that they become natural and comfortable. So when they make a decision, it's pretty well balanced. They're a lot more comfortable dealing with life itself. Difficult things and drama of the world affect them a lot less. They're a lot more stable, and they take better advantage of their opportunities and solve their problems a lot faster and a lot better. So being a master thinker is a great spot to be, and I hope that you'll aspire to attain to that. That would be fabulous. Let's jump all the way to the bottom of the heap now and take a look at the lowest level of thinker. And this is what we'll call the non-reflective thinker. So this person just kind of walks through life with their blinders on, their eyes down, and they act and react and don't really take a moment to think about what they just did. You could also call this person maybe a slug or a fool. And happily, most people in this world, in most circumstances, are not this low. This is pretty rare, thank goodness. But you may be surprised as you learn how a slug, how a non-reflective thinker uses their brain. You may recognize that every once in a while you also fall into that kind of habit. So it's helpful to recognize that, because then you can decide whether or not you want to choose to think a little bit better than that. What's much more common is the next level up, and we'll call this the reckless thinker. This is the person driving that Lamborghini. They're at least in third gear, but they're bouncing off the walls every once in a while. And this is the person who has great machinery upstairs, but they don't really use it carefully. They jump to conclusions, they hear something and make snap judgments, and then they're slow to revise those judgments when additional information comes pouring in, or maybe they don't even pay attention to that additional information. And otherwise, all the other thinking habits, they just kind of shoot from the hip, and they don't really care to do better. So that's unfortunate. These people will suffer more in their life. They'll make more mistakes. People will take advantage of them. And it hurts, like emotionally too, to live that way sometimes and make those mistakes. So you can avoid so much of that by taking a jump to the next level, which is the one where I trust most of you are at because you're watching this video. And this is what we'll call the student. This is the person who's aware, like, hey, if there's something more I can learn that'll make me smarter and that'll make me happier and help me become my best self and enjoy living my best life, then let's hear it, and once you hear it, you'll think, that sounds like a fair idea. Let's try it. Let's put it into practice and let's work our way toward becoming a master. So that's a great place to be. I hope most of you are starting at least there at level 3. Level 4, the last one, we'll call the advanced thinker. And the advanced thinker is the person who has learned these skills and begun to practice them. And as you begin to practice them, they begin to make sense. And they begin to get a little bit easier. They're not always comfortable. They're not always automatic. You're not a master thinker yet, but you're well on your way to it and you're recognizing a lot of the benefits for it. I hope you'll all set your goal at least to become a master thinker and make the world a better place. And even if you think, I'm smart enough, I don't need no stinking class to learn how to use my brain better and learn all the proven kind of things that thinkers over centuries and millennia have come up with, at least you're probably tired sometimes of suffering fools, aren't you? So if you're not going to watch this series, at least share it with other people, and then the people around you can get a little smarter, a little calmer, a little kinder, all the many things that come with being a better thinker. 2,000 years ago, Marcus Aurelius understood this, I think, very well when he said that the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Notice he did not say on the quality of your brain. He said on the quality of your thoughts. So whether you've got a Lamborghini or a Corolla, that's more than adequate to get you through life and get you where you want to go. Learn how to use it. So thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, share, comment, and the more views we'll get, the more, I'm excited to crank these videos out, so we'll have much more coming soon. But of course, I've also got 5 other projects I'm really excited about, so the more views they get, that's how you vote for me to work on this one. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next video. Till then, live smart, live happy, become your best self, live your best life. And find more at the University of Life at uoflife.com/think.